Hey folks, we're back. We're mixing Take It Off by Neon Hornet and Universal Audio's Luna. Today I'm going to start with the electric guitars. In the last video, we did some processing here with the EQ and some vintage warmer, put them through the Neve summing on a bus, and added the LA3A on the two regular rhythm electric guitars. But in the intro, there is another guitar. I'm going to solo these right fast. Now that is one guitar. That's the main electric guitar being put through a stereo processing of some sort. I don't know what that could be or what it is. It's not labeled, but it is in stereo. It may be a delay of some sort, I'm not sure, but what we're going to do, we're going to make that a little bit bigger. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to put the tape machine on that as well, so it is congruent with the other track with that same sound on it. I'm going to also copy the EQ that is on that track over to the stereoized version of it. And I'm just going to do that by hitting Option and drag. All right. Now, what I want to do on this stereo version is I'm going to process that a little bit more. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to come down to a send. I'm going to send that out to line 8. I'm going to send that all the way at unity gain to line 8 output on my Apollo. Now I'm going to set up a new track. Audio, this is going to be a stereo track. I'm going to call it the Lexicon guitar because I'm sending that out to let me send that to guitar sub because I'm sending this out line 8 to a Lexicon PCM60. Let me turn that on right fast. Okay, so the PCM60 is a pretty cool little unit. You can find them affordably on the used market. They have a couple of algorithms in them that are from the Lexicon 224. And if you ever listen to Daniel Lanois, those kind of folks, you'll get the idea from it. Let me see here. I'm going to return this on lines 7 and 8 on my Apollo. Let's see how we get along with that. I'm going to pull that up. We'll listen to that again. I'm going to pull the decay up on that reverb to make it a little bit longer. Okay, so I'm going to go over to the mix page and we're going to print that from the return from the reverb unit. Everything is ready to go. I'm going to hit record. Okay, let's listen to that solo. Cool. And with the main track. Right, I'm going to bring that up and level a bit. I'm going to remove that send. I don't need that input anymore. Okay, now on this return here, I'm going to put a chorus pedal on that and dial this in a little bit. Okay, with both. Right, now if you notice there's it's leaning a little bit to the right, so I'm going to bring that in a little bit on the pan here. Okay, now with everything. Bring down that intensity a bit. Okay, let me fade into this a little bit here so there's no extra pops or anything, and we'll kind of fade out the end. Cool. You can do that with any plugin you want. That same thing, you just send it to a reverb, find the sound that you want, and add a chorus to it, or a flanger or something cool and interesting, and you have a little bit more mojo at the beginning of the song. Let's move over to the solo now. I'm going to head over here to the middle of the track. Okay, there's a little bit of reverb on that track already, and I'm pretty sure that when they recorded it, that's what they wanted it to sound like. And I'm not gonna mess with that too much. I think that's okay right there, but I am going to EQ it a little bit and probably compress it a little bit, even though you can even look at the file here. It's pretty compressed. I mean, that's what happens when you put an electric through an amp. It compresses it a pretty good bit. But we're gonna do a little bit more. I don't want to cut too much of the bottom out of this. It just sounds cool. It's pretty heavy, but I do want to get rid of the sub harmonics and the information that we don't need in the mix. I don't want it to get too jumbled up with everything else. I like the reverb that's on it. It's probably coming straight from the amp. Let's go ahead and put a compressor on here. I'm going to use the Neve 2254 on this at first. May not like it, but we may like it. So let's see what happens. This is a classic compressor for electric guitars because it's got amazing tone, and it's in this emulation we have the pull switch, which allows us to try out all kinds of releases. I'm going to leave it on auto right now. I'm going to turn off the limiter. I just want to use the compressor. One of the interesting things about this compressor is that on the 1.5 to 1, it sounds a lot like the source material, but as I move this way, the tone of the compressor changes a little bit. Let me do that right fast. It's got to do with the knee of the compressor, as well as a lot of the transformers, etc., inside of the unit, as to why it does that. I'm going to pick the middle compression ratio right now, and dial something in, and then I'll kind of move this around and see what sounds better. Okay, cool. I'm gonna back up a little bit in front of that and get a run and start, see how that sounds when it comes into the actual solo. Okay, great. I was trying the limiter there for a minute, and I thought I liked it, but then when I turned it off, I didn't like it. So I just left it off. The compressor is on the fast attack, which is actually the normal kind of way it would be used. I've got a little bit of makeup gain here, a little bit of the output gain as well. So I'm on the 400 millisecond recovery. I tried the pull switch here, which divides it by 8. Nah, that didn't really... I kind of like the 400 millisecond recovery time there. I kept switching between the 2.1 and the 3.1 and even the 1.5 to 1, but ending up on the 3.1, I think that sounds better. At least in my headphones right now, it sounds better. So I'm going to leave it there. Still going to need some automation on it, but also at the end of this solo, it seems like there's some what I like to call Gonzo moments. If you ever listen to the very first Chicago album, I think it was called Chicago Transit Authority, before they changed their name to just Chicago. It's a fantastic album, but there's a song on that record called Freeform Guitar, I think it was called. Anyway, it's total Gonzo moment. It's just the guitar going crazy. And that's sort of what's happening here at the end of this. Right, but I think we can help that along and get a little bit more crazy. So let's try it right fast. Let's try to use the OTO Biscuit, I think is how you are technically supposed to pronounce this. I have a preset I like to use on this sometimes. I call it a dotted eighth dirt, and it's just a dotted eighth subdivision on the delay end of it. It's synced to the DAW. I'm using, well, you can just copy these settings here. I won't go through the whole thing. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I have a feeling at the end of the solo, if I switch this on, it will have the effect that I want it to. I'm going to switch it on here using this bypass up at the top here. Yeah, right there where he kind of hits that, I think it's the low E string and does a bend on it. You hear that little part right there that's kind of wavery? I think that's where it should come in. Yeah, and I might pull that feedback up some on the end of that. So let me try that right fast. I'm just going to put this into touch automation. And before I do that, let me turn it off. Now I'm going to put it in touch automation, and I'm going to toggle that on that one note, and then ride this feedback. Right. Let me pull this back into read. Let's listen to that. Yeah, I think that was what I wanted it to do. Kind of a berserk moment at the end. Let me get a run and start and listen to that all the way through there.
You can scream and shout.
Okay, yeah, I think I may have come in a tiny bit early on that automation. So let's do this. Let's head over here to view clips. If I scroll down on this, it will automatically show me what has been automated. Oh, there it is. A highlighted insert is where the automation is, and the feedback is here. So I can just click on that and view that automation right fast. There should be a bypass. Mode. Okay, here we go. Let me zoom in and let me pull that over a little bit. I'm gonna turn off snap. Awesome. So I'm going to automate that, when we get ready to do automation. I'm going to ride the level of that up and down. We'll probably add some effects to the final solo as well, something similar. Over here, I know it gets pretty gonzo as well. we may not need to add anything to that. It's pretty crazy already. So in the next video, we will probably start automating some effects on the vocals in and out and focus really closely on the bridge. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks so much. Please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. And if you like this video, please stick around. More videos are coming very soon.